Hey guys, welcome back to Hype RC. Today on the channel, we have a couple new releases from INJORA. First off, we have the new Universal LCG carbon fiber chassis. So this can be built up to fit different size SCX24s. We're going to put this together and put it on our Gladiator. And then we also have the new Diff Grease. So this is a new release from INJORA. There's two different versions of this. This one is designed for 18th and 24th scale rigs. And then they have another version that's for 10th scale and larger vehicles. I'm very interested to check this out. So let's go ahead and head over to the bench and see what comes out of the package. So let's go ahead and start off by taking a look at this Diff Grease. So it comes with like a little application spoon, I guess, to scoop it out. I usually use Q-tips to apply mine. And then this is sealed up in a little package. Let's go ahead and get this open as well. Almost reminds me of an old shoe polish container. So it's a screw-on lid. And then it looks like we've got some nice blue grease in here. Consistency is definitely a greasy type, so I'll be interested to check this out. We'll go ahead and load those diffs up with this once we get this vehicle built up. So let's go ahead and check out this Universal LCG chassis. Now, they did go ahead and send 2 packets of stickers. We got a Halloween set and a Christmas set, so these are very cool. I love that they do seasonal stickers with their rigs. So let's go ahead and open up this LCG chassis. So it does look like we got magnets with this, so I'm a big fan of using magnets on my crawler. Some double-sided adhesive, some frame parts there, a nice bag of screws, and INJORA always gives you extra screws, so I'm very excited about that. A couple frame rails, and then it looks like we went ahead and got the rest of the frame rails for this, and it looks like they are adjustable screws, so you can mount those in different locations to go ahead and stretch this out for your rig, whether you're going to put this on a smaller SCX24 or like we're going to do and go ahead and put this on our Gladiator. So I'm going to go ahead and get this built up, and then we'll take an up close look at it on the truck. All right, guys, so I got this build complete. It went together fairly easy. I did have a couple clearance issues, and I do have a few build tips, but let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. So the biggest positive for me is this 8-degree angled skid. That's going to give us a lot of breakover, especially for a longer wheelbase like the Gladiator, so that's going to help out a ton. I love these side skid plates, so if you're running aftermarket electronics, ESCs and receivers can be mounted lower in the vehicle, and I like all the mounting locations for the shocks as well. And then the battery actually mounts sideways on this, so it does move some of the weight forward, which is a positive for this rig. Now, the 2 clearance issues that I had for this, I had to mount the factory ESC sideways. The on-off switch is right here, but the servo wire was actually running into the servo and messing with the articulation and clearance on the front of the vehicle, so that was an easy fix. And then the other one, there's a little plate right here, and the bottom motor wire was running into it, so I had to take a Dremel and just nick a little spot out so that that wire had some clearance in it. Now, the build tips I have for you, they go ahead and tell you in the instructions to mount this plate up first, but you definitely want to put your shocks on because there's a little nut that goes on the inside, and with this plate mounted up, that makes it very difficult. And I went ahead and went with Velcro on mine because the magnets stack up so high. I've chopped my body to sit down low, so I didn't want all that extra clearance on the front of the vehicle, so I just went ahead and used a factory Velcro on this. But all in all, this build went together fairly easy. You can see the extension back here is done with a metal aluminum plate, which just allows you to mount this either forward or backward, so you can stretch it out for the Gladiator or shrink it up for your other SCX24s. But all in all, I'm very impressed with this. It looks like it's going to have major improvement over the factory chassis. Now, I have gone ahead and greased both diffs with the INJORA grease on this one. The jury's out because I haven't got a chance to run it, but it is very consistent and tacky, so I think it's going to be a good diff grease. But let's go ahead and get this build finished and take it out for a crawl. All right, guys, I had a lot of fun getting out and running this new chassis. So let's go ahead and dive into the pros and the cons on this new INJORA Universal LCG chassis. So the biggest pro for me is absolutely the performance you get out of this, especially for the Gladiator. So that 8-degree angled skid allows you to have a huge amount of breakover. So high siding on the Gladiator is the biggest issue for this rig, and it ran my course flawless with not getting high sided at all on the course. So I'm extremely impressed with that. Next is the price point. So for $21.99, that is absolutely amazing for a chassis of this quality. And then the fact that it is universal. So generally, when you hear the term universal, to me, it's not great. It means that they've made something to kind of fit multiple things, and it really doesn't do anything great. But I'm pretty sure that if you went ahead and shortened this up and put it on a standard SCX24, you're going to get the same performance that I did out of this. And then all of the hardware and the extras you get with this is always good. You know, if you drop screws, misplaced screws or whatever, INJORA always does a great job to give you plenty of extras. Now, the only con that I do see with this is the clearance issues that I had are minimal, but they are issues. So if you end up putting a longer motor, this is also not compatible with their new Fat Viper. So those issues are kind of a deal that you're going to have to work around. No chassis is perfect, and a little bit of adjustability and clearance issues are things that kind of come with crawlers. So it's not a big deal, but they are there. And other than that, I don't have any other cons for this. So definitely worth the price, definitely high value for what you get in this. And then the grease. So this actually ran very smooth. You know, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of runtime with this, but anytime you're going to need grease for your diffs and somebody makes a specific tacky grease for it, I think that that's probably the way to go instead of just buying something from your hardware store. So I probably would recommend this. Again, I want to get more runtime with it before I highly recommend it. But all in all, I think INJORA is doing a great job with all the releases that they have. So highly recommend this chassis. So don't forget to support your local hobby shops. Bash, crawl, drift, repeat. Hit that subscribe and like button for me and ring the next bell so you can catch my next video. We'll see you next time.